I think I would go back to something we talked about earlier, realism. Part of the difficulty in a campaign is first of all, campaigns are aspirational. You're trying to change the world in some way or another, whatever sliver of your world you're running your campaign in. And so it's good to be aspirational, but you can't have your head entirely in the clouds of that aspiration. You got to have your head somewhere back down here on Earth about how you actually get there. And so realism about what is your plan, what is that strategy, then what are the tactics that are going to support that, I think is sort of a foundational value to a campaign. And I think you can see campaigns even now who, with talk of a political revolution, that, maybe the judge about how realistic that is or not. But time will tell whether a campaign built on what seems more sort of pie in the sky versus what's more realistic will be successful. I think that's one thing. I think you got to have a real sense of strategy versus tactics, and that sounds again so foundational. But you see campaigns that get caught up in tactics and sort of and that's fine. But tactics not in service of a strategy, is just sort of noise. And so you've got to know, why are you doing the things you're doing in a campaign? Are you just doing them because you're doing them reactively, or because somebody else says you need to do them, or do you understand? I mean, back to what we talked about earlier, the campaign, the most precious resource is time, and you're never going to get any more. But so every hour you spend on a campaign, you better know, why are you spending that hour doing that, and why is it better than spending that hour doing something else? And no campaign manager or candidate in the world will ever tell you that they spent every hour exactly at the highest purpose of that hour. But you sure hope at the end of the day you spend more of them doing the right thing than not. But if you don't know what the right thing is, and you're trying to achieve, how that affects your campaign, then you're just sort of playing luck. And so I think that is key. And then I think the other one that's sort of the other leg of the stool maybe is discipline. To have that plan is one thing. Plenty of campaigns have started with an impressive binder of a plan for how we're going to do it, and then have met battle and have freaked out. And you have to have discipline. You have to sort of keep your head down, and know, because campaigns are also full of people second guessing. Full, whether it's your own, the worst is your own people, but the other side, it's the media. There's a lot of noise in a campaign, and to be able to sort of, you can't have tunnel vision. You got to understand what's going on in the world, but you also have to be able to keep your focus on the things you can control and doing them in a way that's actually going to be helpful for your campaign. So, I think those are sort of broad keys to a successful campaign. For one, you go out and you build. I mean, history is full of candidates who people thought didn't really have much of a chance. Go back to Jimmy Carter. I mean, it's the sort of, the standard cliche story, but he was just the peanut farmer from Georgia. He was a governor too, but the idea was he didn't have a real shot. So he took the time and the effort and went to Iowa and practically lived there and went everywhere and talked to everyone and slowly built it up. And maybe that model doesn't exist now, but if you're Lincoln Chafee and Jim Webb, and literally all you show up for are debates and all you show up for are candidate forums, and you're not out there trying to present a real vision and raise money for it and actually go and meet voters and communicate, then yeah, you're not campaigning. You're just trying to sort of get FaceTime on TV, and that's not a real campaign.